Good morning. My name is Leslie, and on behalf of everyone from Esri Singapore, thank you for joining us today. It is our great pleasure to have you with us. If you joined us before in previous events, it's really good to welcome you back. And if you're joining us for the first time, a warm welcome to the Esri Geospatial community. Our event today, the GeoInnovation Forum, is centered on the theme of sustainability, particularly on the impact of climate change. Every day we hear about climate change, and sometimes we certainly feel the effects of the swings in the weather. Just a few weeks ago, there were flash floods reported in areas in Bukit Timah, Punggol, and Aokang because of a month of rain came down in just a matter of hours. And it's easy for our thoughts to wonder and extrapolate how grim the future can be. The impact of climate change is very real, but we would like to take some time today to also share that there are many reasons for hope. You see, bad news spreads faster than good news. But a good story has longer lasting effects on people than a bad story. So the good news is that the tools we need for making important decisions are available to us and have been for quite a while. In fact, we are better equipped to tackle complex challenges now more than ever before. GIS helps us to measure, understand, plan, and take action. All of this framed in a geographical context to give us the bigger picture. The holistic understanding that allows us to accurately measure what needs to be improved. GIS empowers us to model and simulate intervention strategies. And GIS helps us to communicate a situation and a plan. And in many senses, it is a medium that helps us to transmit knowledge. Data layers can be combined into data models and enriched. Algorithms can comb through the data, filter out noise, detect patterns or anomalies. All this is very powerful, but the thing is, all these strategies must first originate from a human designer, the GIS thinker, people like you. People set the direction. The mathematician and scientist Lord Kelvin, whose name is used as the measure of temperature, is often attributed with a quote, "If you can't measure it, you can't improve it." Now, I know that there have been flash floods reported recently, and it may seem worrisome, but let's take a moment to consider this. In 2018, it was reported that PUB estimated that flood-prone areas in Singapore had been reduced by 2/3, from 79 hectares to less than 29 hectares over a period of 10 years. That's an improvement of 63%. All this even while urban development and population continued to grow. And while our urban development continues, by choice and design, we have 2 million street trees along our streets in Singapore today. Now, we all know that each tree fall incident poses risk to property and safety. In 2001, there were over 3,000 tree incidents per year, almost 60 a week. But by 2019, there were 400 tree incidents only, a dramatic decline and improvement of more than 85%. And to be sure, we will see more and more greenery in Singapore in the years to come. But I'm optimistic that the risks will not spike, because I'm pleased to say that the users in Singapore who lean heavily on GIS have been measuring things constantly to prioritize and channel resources, creativity, and action to make sure our development is sustainable. And in a recent review of our local wildlife, 8 species are regarded now as less endangered. These types of improvements are reminders that there are people who do not give up simply because of sensational and negative headlines. Sure, there is much more to do, but that doesn't mean that much progress has not been made. So today we are joined by speakers from Hong Kong, our Maritime Port Authority of Singapore, and NOAA. Similar to PUB and NParks and many more, they are using GIS to innovatively protect and transform our environment with the best of science, critical thinking, and action. Esri was founded on the belief that geography is at the heart of a more resilient future, and it is our privilege to be able to support and witness their good work. Esri recognized 210 winners from 79 countries with a Special Achievement in GIS Award in July this year. And I hope this gives you a sense of the many people who are persistently and passionately working at protecting our living and working environment. One of our speakers today, Dr. Perry Ooi, is from one of this year's award winners, the Maritime Port Authority of Singapore, as well as our friends from Hong Kong. These are just some of the few examples of how your peers around the world and in Singapore are using interconnecting GIS systems to address the challenges brought about by climate change. We may be in a time of unprecedented change because of COVID-19, but Esri continues to plow over 30% of annual revenue into R&D because we are driven to support the important work of people in all organizations such as this. The phrase, "if you can't measure it, you can't improve it," has often been attributed to Lord Kelvin, but it has also been attributed to Peter Drucker, the management guru, as well as the mathematician Antoine Augustin Cournot. These are all influential thinkers, and people who leave a strong legacy demonstrate a behavior that can be captured by the phrase, "tough times don't last, but tough people do." So for the rest of the next 2 hours, please stay and listen to our lineup of speakers. During the lockdown in the middle of last year, our green spaces was one of the few reprieves we had. National Parks Board will be sharing with you how they harness the geospatial technology to support crowd management at our parks. Hong Kong is another city where urban development is constantly on the move. Hong Kong's Urban Renewal Authority will share how GIS is involved in creating a more holistic and people-centric approach to their renewal projects. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA for short, is another organization that is constantly pushing frontiers. We will hear from them about the innovative approaches and services that helps coastal communities with better preparedness and resilience. And you will also have a chance to hear from Maritime Port Authority of Singapore on how the Geospatial Sea platform contributes to our climate change challenge. And last but not least, my colleague Sharon Jin from Esri Singapore will give you a deeper look into the technology trends that are driving the development of the ArcGIS platform. I would like to thank all in advance our local and overseas presenters for taking time to share your journeys with us. This week is also the third Singapore Geospatial Festival organized by GeoWorks, Singapore Land Authority's Geospatial Industry Centre. I'm told that over 300 delegates from over 120 organizations will be participating in this. This again shows the diversity of the ever and growing importance of geospatial thinking and action. In a time of unprecedented change, being able to continue with this is worth appreciating. I congratulate GeoWorks for doing this. Now, to get the GeoInnovation Forum proper on the road, without further delay, it is my privilege to call on our first speaker of the day, Mr. Abhishek Tandon, Deputy Director of Geospatial Development and IT from the National Parks Board. Over to you, Abhishek.